Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 13th of August. Now, last week we certainly had quite a bit of excitement in the markets, certainly towards the latter half of the week, with the decline in the Turkish lira, the subsequent strengthening of the US dollar, and also the strengthening of the Japanese yen, creating a number of nice trends and sort of very tradable market conditions for us traders to take advantage of. So before we take a look at some markets to focus on this week, let's just do a quick review of the markets that we focused on in last week's video. So the first one was Great British Pound against the dollar. If I open the weekly chart up, you can review last week's video to get an understanding of the analysis behind the reasons as to why we were looking at this short. But we were looking for a move from, once the market broke 130, we were looking for a move down to 128 here, as we can see on the weekly chart. Now, in actual fact, the market did break 130. It sort of went down to 128, and it subsequently broke 128 as well because the market was so weak. So now price action is sort of sitting right underneath that level. You can see here on the 4-hour chart, if I open that up, you can see the sort of opportunities where we managed to capture trades in the trading room underneath our 130 level to take advantage of that trend. So this one sort of played out sort of quite nicely and as expected. So let's have a look at some of the others that we focused on last week. Now, the other one that we looked at was the mini Dow future, the YM contract. We're looking for the market to break 25.50. We can see here on the, if I open up here on the 4-hour chart, this sort of 25.50 sort of level was quite a significant price point for us. We were looking for longs above that level. It was always going to be intraday opportunities on this market because of this sort of consolidation that the market had been in for such a long time. And there were some trading opportunities in the sort of first half of the week as that move continued, and the market moved up to new highs. However, the subsequent strength of the US dollar has weighed on the indices, and we can see what's happened since. The markets have retreated, and this one has now retreated back underneath that sort of key level. The last one that we looked at was oil. We were looking at oil above 69.70, and the idea here, really, if I open up on the 4-hour chart, if we come back 69.70 up here, this was the level that we were looking long of, and we can see that the market just managed to poke its head above it, didn't manage to sort of gain any traction above 69.70, and sort of subsequently has declined underneath it. Now, there was no opportunities here for us on oil, certainly not in the direction that we were looking for, which was long on the long side. So let's take a look at some of the markets that we're going to be focusing on this week. Now, there's been quite a few moves in the markets and quite a lot sort of going on. So there's a lot of market conditions that are quite overstretched at this moment in time. However, if we think about what's going on with the metals and the US dollar has strengthened significantly last week, and it's still looking like that strength is going to continue. But one set of markets that hasn't really sort of caught up is the metal market. So here, like precious metals like gold, silver, platinum, they're coming under pressure with that strength of the dollar at the moment. And what we've seen is that there's just been sort of like sideways consolidation over the past few weeks. So if we have a look here on the weekly chart, we can see that one of the reasons for this is that price action on a lot of these has been sort of stumped. It's been up against some key levels. And you can see here as an example on gold, looking nice short, but technically speaking, from a technical trader's perspective, it does look like it could do with a bit of retracement here. However, if the macroeconomics continue, then these markets are likely to sort of follow suit, and they're likely to continue lower. It's the same story with silver. So we can see that silver has been in sideways consolidations. That's sort of starting to break through now. But again, on the weekly charts, these are up against historical levels. One, however, that I do like the look of much more is the platinum market. And the reason is that platinum, again, has been very sideways with the sideways consolidation with all the other metal markets. But when we come and take a look at this on the weekly chart, we can see that on the weekly, the market's already broken underneath its structure level, and it's already underneath there in the context of nice trends too. So if the US dollar continues to strengthen throughout the course of this week, which it certainly looks like it will be doing, then I'll be looking for shorting opportunities on all of the metal markets, and particularly sort of platinum here. Now, the other markets that I think are worthy to keep a note of, and certainly going to be on my watch list here, is the Kiwi against the Canadian dollar. Now, a lot of these markets have seen a lot of price action last week already, and some of these are looking quite stretched, and Kiwi against the CAD is no exception. But when we come and have a look at this on the higher time frames, you can see that the market now has broken some significant levels. And when we saw that these significant levels were broken last week in the likes of euro yen and a number of other markets, we had some significant price moves. Now, at the moment, we've got a level here just above price action, which has been key support in the past. That's going to act as resistance. So if the market stays below this level, I'll be looking for shorts for the market to continue. And if we think, well, where could the market sort of continue? Where's the next sort of level of potential sort of support and resistance? There's quite a decent sort of distance, maybe possibly down here to that sort of 84 level. If we come down to the lower time frames and take a look at the daily, you can see this in a little bit more detail. We're expecting a bit of a retracement at the moment. The market is retracing up towards that sort of structure point just underneath 87. But if the market fails to break through that and fails to continue long, then I think there's only one place for it to go, and that's for the trend to continue to the short side. So the other one that I want to take a look at this week is euro dollar. And same story really here on euro dollar. If we have a look at this on the weekly chart, we'll get some sort of perspective of it. From a macro perspective, I was looking for opportunities here for the past few weeks. Actually, I was looking to see whether we're going to get an opportunity for euro dollar to retest 120. With the rollover of the market now and the market making new lows, that's clearly now off the cards. And with the break of the sort of this lower level here again, which has been very sort of key structure here in euro dollar, there doesn't look an awful lot in the way for price to move down to its next support structure, which is around that 112 level. And that's quite a decent move to the short side. So from a macroeconomic perspective, we've got euro under pressure with the collapse of the Turkish lira, and we've also got the strengthening of the US dollar, which is going to sort of just play into the strengths and weaknesses, which is going to support a continued weakness here in euro dollar. So again, I like this market short. We could see a short-term retracement, to take some of the heat out of this market. But again, if nothing else sort of fundamentally changes, then we could be looking for continued weakness here in euro dollar to the short side. So there's a few more markets that I'll be keeping an eye on for opportunities through the trading room. I'd just like to announce that the Markets to Watch newsletter will be taking a slight holiday, and the next newsletter will be published on the 3rd of September. So just don't be alarmed when you don't receive one over the next couple of weeks. 3rd of September, service will be back to normal. Hope it helps, and certainly look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.